Hello guys, welcome or welcome back to the channel. My name is Claire and this is Polly Put the Petal On, and today's video is a makeover of a jar that I picked up from the car boot sale for £4, just £4. It's a huge jar and I could see it. I was doing a car boot myself and I could see it across the way and I thought, oh, I hope that's still there by the time I finished mine. And indeed it was. He wanted a £5, I paid £4 because I'd only got £4, so he let me have it. So we're going to be doing that. I've already done the first stage and some of this video is going to be with a voiceover because, as I say, I've already done the first stage, which is I have transformed it from what you're seeing at the side now. I've transformed it from that to I've used EASYFIL on it, and I've played around with different textures and things, but you're going to see this as I take you along. Today we're going to age it, so yeah, and then we're going to see what it looks like. And basically what I bought it for is to put at the base of the mirror, not so much at the base, because the mirror, the big mirror that I did on my last makeover, again that was the same car boot, that was a find for £5. If you're interested in that video, I'll link that below. And I've aged that, you know, I've distressed it kind of thing. I've repainted it, distressed it. And so at the foot of that, that's going to go on the wall, but I wanted something big and heavy to anchor that. Basically, I have a wide stair at the top of my stairs. So they go up and then there's a huge wide stair and then they go up again in a different direction. So basically what I want to do is anchor that mirror. And so this is what I've chosen. Yeah, I've had fun doing it. So before we get into any of that though, guys, I've got some housekeeping that I want to do. It's Dialect, perfumes, and then we will get on with aging this. I've got my paints here to the side and I've got the jar to the side. So we'll get on with this and then we can get on with that. So yeah, it's Dialect, and I didn't do last month's because I was poorly, but yeah, I'm here with Dialect this month. So no different. This is a highly reputable company selling designer inspired perfumes. The three I have chosen this month are Orchid Spice, that's by Tom Ford. This one is Basil Lemonade. I'm wearing this today because crafters like to smell nice too. Basil Lemonade, that's a Jo Malone perfume, a Jo Malone inspired, absolutely beautiful, and that is a bestseller because I've wanted that for quite some time and could never get my hands on it. But yeah, I've got that now. So it is a bestseller, so that's something to bear in mind. And then there's Amber Infusion, and this is inspired by Baccarat Rouge. So beautiful perfumes, long-lasting scents. You will, you know, be prepared for people to ask you what you're wearing because, you know, there are many times, you know, while I've been wearing this perfume that people do that. And the company is carbon neutral. You know, everything is recyclable, the packaging, and all the ingredients are lovely and clean. Now I'll just read from my notes here because I've got some new perfumes coming out and I want to tell you about those, but also that I will have a 25% discount code, and that will be in the description box below. There's next day delivery over £49 when you spend £49. There's a free sample when you spend over £59. They'll send you a free sample, and they're 5ml. They tend to be fat, you know, they're not just those tiny ones. They're 5ml, and you get a few uses out of it. And there is a free 30-day returns policy. So if you've got your perfume and you've had a spritz and you're not keen on it, you know, providing you've not used half of it, you can send it back and they'll return your money. So I'm going to mention these, I was going to say flavours then. I'm going to mention these new scents that I think they're out now. If not, they are definitely coming extremely soon. So the first one is, it's going to be called Almond Fever, and that's going to be inspired by Dior's Hypnotic Poison. All of these I'm excited about. And they do their own originals as well, Dialect do. So if you're not interested in that, then, you know, it might be worth you having a look anyway at their own original perfumes. I think I may have actually one of theirs. And every one of their perfumes that I have, I absolutely love. There was only one that I didn't like. That was no reflection. That was Santal 33, and that was no reflection on Dialect. That was just because it was spicy, and I'm not into too much spice. Having said that, the Baccarat Rouge, I passed that to my daughter because, again, I'm not into spice. But when I smell her, when she's wearing it, I want to smell like it, hence why I've got it this time. So yeah, so the Almond Fever is inspired, and these are to be released, if not already released. Almond Fever, inspired by Dior's Hypnotic Poison. Let me put my glasses on. Garden of Eden, and that's inspired by Aventus for her Creed. Golden Pear by Jo Malone, English Pear and Freesia. Riviera Reverie by Tom Ford's Soleil Blanc. And White Fusion by Armani's My Way. And then there's going to be 3 Dialect originals: Orange Blossom, Vanilla and Bergamot. So those are 3, and they are originals and can be layered with any other perfumes, because I actually do layer my perfumes. If I look at the notes, I check the notes, because that's one great thing about Dialect, is you can actually look at what notes. It used to be on little individual boxes, but they wanted to save on packaging, so they just send the bottles now like this. But they used to be in their own little bottles, but you can still check online on the site the notes of the perfumes and the mood of the perfumes too. So if I've got, for instance, La Vie Belle and these are 2 that I layer, La Vie Belle and the Black Orchid dupes, and they've both got vanilla and patchouli in, so I layer those up. And honestly, you just smell divine. Like I say, crafters like to smell nice too. So yeah, as I say, I have got a 25% off, and the link will be below for that code and for the link direct to Dialect. So yeah, excited. I'm excited about these new scents, guys. I really am. So I'll keep you posted on those as we go along. So thank you for listening to that little part, and thank you to Dialect too. And we are now I'm just going to quickly go and get my little plate to mix some colours, because I'm going to water little bits down. Didn't want to be sitting here while they were on the plate. You know, I didn't want them drying up. So I'll go and get that done, and I'll be right back.
Okay guys, so this is the jar in question, £4 from the car boot sale. It's really large, as you can see. This is that recycled glass, and then obviously somebody has had a little bash at painting it gold. So we're going to do a makeover on this, and I'm going to be using EASYFIL20, and we're going to start at the base. So I've turned it upside down, and we're just going to, this is the EASYFIL20 that I've mixed up, and I think I've used something like 2 cups of the EASYFIL, and then I think it was a cup and a half of water, just to make it into this consistency. And it's not easy to apply this, and I really wanted to play with textures, to give different areas a different texture. So for this bottom part, I want to bring it up, but first of all, the tricky part is getting it on and getting it, because you can wipe it on or pat it on, but then if you go over and you're too heavy-handed, it will wipe back off, and then you can see what's underneath it. So I've now got the base on as far as I want it to come up, as far as, you know, I want that base texture to come up. And what I'm trying to do with my fingers there is create like a rib effect. And then I see one of my glue sticks, and I think, right, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go round with my glue stick. And like I say, it's a very tacky product. And so I was doing the best that I could. But what I usually do is I wait until it's gone off for about, because it's EASYFIL20, goes off in 20 minutes. And what I usually do is wait about 15, and then I go in with a wet hand, which is exactly what I'm doing here now. And I'm parting my fingers and going down those grooves, but I'm making it smoother than it was before, if you know what I mean. It's still textured, it's still giving me that ribbed effect, but I'm just smoothing it off with the wet fingers sort of thing, and taking those sharp edges off. And once we've done that, we are moving up or down, further down the jar, and we're giving it another texture. So initially we're slapping it on because it needs to be slapped on, as I just said before, and then we're going to add a different texture to that. So for this layer we are going round horizontally rather than up vertically like the bottom ribbed section. So as we move further up the jar, I'm now wanting to add these bobbles that I made a couple of days previously. They're just done with air dried clay, and then I measured them out with a measuring spoon out of the cutlery drawer really. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be pushing these into the EASYFIL so that when it sets they just dry on it. There was no need to glue. It's going to be quite irregular. I've not got a measuring tool to measure the distance between. I'm completely eyeballing it. I want it to be irregular, obviously in texture and also appearance, and so I really am just going for it, and everything's done by eyeball. And then it's just a question of finishing the top off now, and then waiting for it to go off for those 15 minutes, and then I'll go back in with my wet hand and smooth it a little. I found that this top part a lot easier than the bottom parts. Now this was me trying to age it, but I didn't like it, so not everything that I have a vision of comes to fruition. And when I checked it after it had dried out, because it did become porous and soft yet again, I looked at it and I thought absolutely not. So this is me now going over with the clotted cream chalk paint, and I give it a couple of coats of this because look at the state of that underneath it. I really didn't like it. It had gone into a pinky colour, which it should have been brown, and I don't know whether it is because it's so porous, the EASYFIL. I just didn't know, but maybe I need to age, and I have seen many techniques in which to do that with the EASYFIL, and so I'm going to try that next. But EASYFIL is new to me, relatively new to me. I've done a few projects in it. So I think next time I'll do the aging effect by some of the effects that I've seen, tried and tested. But this one for me today just was not the one. So like I say, here we are, and we're going over it with chalk paint. And here we go, guys. Here it is pretty much in situ. We just need that mirror to go further up the wall. I need to get my drill for that. But I think I've created a great anchor for that large mirror. Again, that large mirror, I've done that on the channel, and I got that from the car boot for £5. This jar was £4, and I'm loving all the texture that's in it. And you can see some of that base paint that's come through anyway, can't you, over the, I've put the chalk paint over the top. I'm super happy with it. I wanted that rustic look, I wanted that irregular look, and I wanted that heavily textured look too. So that's what I have achieved, and I think it looks really nice in place, and super happy with it. And this is what it looks like from the bottom of the stairs. See, it looks lovely, doesn't it? Super happy. Let's go back to the table.
So I think because the EASYFIL is still porous because of the material that it is, it was kind of soaking up the colour and it wasn't going on the colour that I wanted it to be. So I painted over it with the chalk paint, but you can still see some of it, and especially in the texture. And I think that will do for now until I go and get some chalk paint. I had cashmere beige, but when I went to it, it was all dried up because I'd only got a little bit left in. This was acrylic paint that I was using. I didn't particularly care for the colour that it was showing up. And so, like I say, I'm happy with the way that it is, but I will definitely dry brush some chalk paint on it, a different coloured chalk paint further down the line. But I'm happy with the way it is. It looks lovely, doesn't it? And once that mirror is on the wall, and like I say, that's to anchor that mirror, because it's going to be so far up the wall. It's not going to be a long way up the wall, but it's going to be so far up the wall, and then that's a great anchor for the bottom. So I'm super happy, really, other than, you know, I couldn't age it as I wanted to age it. And to be honest with you, I've never aged anything anyway, unless, you know, I've distressed something. Now I have got another pot that's going to be chalk painted and distressed, and that is a lovely big urn that I've got. So that'll be another one that I'm doing. I did try and put some rub and buff on it at Christmas time, and then I thought, no, that's going to ruin it. So it has got a little bit of rub and buff, but I think that's going to add to it when I come to distress it. So I'm going to be doing that as well. I might do it on camera, but if I don't, I will definitely show you. And yeah, so I am, you know, overall I am happy, and I've got it on that little piece of wood, which is just a little bit of scaffold board that I've sanded down, and I think I'm going to add some feet to it to raise it so it's a riser. And that area there will be lovely, especially, like I say, when I've got the mirror on the wall. So that's it for today, folks, and thank you so much for joining me. This has been filmed over a period of God knows how many weeks and days. Yeah, thank you so mumuch for joining me. Like I say, all the Dialect details will be down below, and yeah, I'll be back again very soon, and I think I might make myself a wreath because I've still got my Easter one on. So I mean, it's not all singing dancing with eggs, otherwise I would have took it down, of course I would, but I need a new wreath. So I think I'm going to do a bit of wreath making next. So it's been lovely to see you today, folks. Thank you so much for joining me, and let me know what you think of that jar. Maybe not the colour, I'm not really bothered about that, but you know, I told you in one of my last videos when Kim joined me on, oh, it was the Temu haul, wasn't it, when Kim joined me, and I told you, you know, one family member said there was no time now or in the future that would look good. I also thought, what do you think if I added more, because I'd made more bobbles with the air dried clay, and I have got some left. So what do you think if I add more to it to make it a thicker band? I don't know. It's an idea to play with, but like I say, I was playing around with textures and just ideas. It was a £4 jar from the car boot sale, you know, and I can always chip that off anyway. So you know, it's still a pretty versatile piece. So thank you for joining me. Do take care, and I'll see you all very soon. I've stalled then, didn't I? I will. I'll see you all very soon. Take care. Bye.